Egypt is located in North Africa, bordering the Mediterranean Sea. Having the Nile River going through Egypt allows it to have a prospering agricultural economy. The population in 2012 was about 82.3 million people, which is expected to increase in 2025 to reach about 102 million people. This increase in population has led Egypt to a decrease in agriculture, since there is a need to build urban environments on agricultural land.
Live from Cairo, I am here outside the Capitol building where many international economic groups have gathered to talk about a future economic development plan for Cairo. Agriculture in Egypt accounts for about 45 to 47% of total employment, 30% of their GDP, and for more than 50% of exports, although recently their exports of food have declined as their imports of food have risen. This has led to an increase in the number of shantytowns. As of the 2006 census, there are about 1,200 shantytowns distributed amongst 24 governorates with about 15.7 million people living in them. In order to solve the agricultural problem, we need to stop the rising of the shantytowns, which are taking up a huge amount of land that can be used to grow crops. This increase in shantytowns have led to problems with poverty, health, and education.
In Cairo, the people living in the shanty towns are called Zabbalin, which means garbage collectors, because they collect Cairo's garbage daily. The Zabbalin are mostly Coptic Christians who originally worked in agriculture. They migrated to Cairo in the 1940s from the south of Egypt due to drought and poor harvest. The number of the Zabbalin grew as they turned Cairo's garbage into an investment. They collected and sold the waste to factories and manufacturers and fed the organic composite to their pigs, which was connected to swine flu pandemic. In order to solve this problem, we are estimating a cost of about $1.8 billion to put toward recycling facilities and public awareness campaigns.
Egypt is not plagued by the HIV/AIDS virus as other developing countries are, with only about 1% of the population actually affected with the virus. However, due to living conditions of the poor in areas such as the shantytowns and unsafe sexual behavior, Egypt is not far from developing an HIV/AIDS epidemic. Our development plan for Egypt aims to address the health issue before an epidemic can develop. We intend to implement our plan at both the macro and micro levels. At the macro level, our primary goal is to construct facilities aimed at treating those afflicted with the virus. We estimate $1.9 billion expenses for the construction of treatment centers, medication, and wages for the treatment workers. At the micro level, we seek to advertise HIV/AIDS awareness campaigns to make people more aware of the virus and educate them about what they can do to protect themselves. We estimate $1.2 billion for these expenses for public service announcements, printed, radio, and online awareness ads.
The best way to lower poverty is by fixing the education system. An average family in a shanty town consists of around 6 children. These children are raised according to street ethics and bad morals. Children in the shanty towns never receive regular education and learn a lot of their culture from a mixture of other poor children they play with in the alleys. Education is key to improving the quality of life in the shanty towns. The current education system in places outside of the shanty towns consists of 2 stages, pre-higher and higher education. Once done with pre-higher education based on grades, the student can either go to a general secondary school or a technical school. On the micro level, our focus is to bring this system into the shanty towns, with more of a focus on technical schooling since the children are not being taught in the traditional manner. In order to implement our solution, we will be spending about $2.8 billion on facilities such as construction of schools, educational community centers, and staff. In order to get our word out to the public, we will be spending about $2 billion on public awareness campaigns. By creating modern recycling, health, and education facilities in addition to informing all of the citizens about these new programs through public awareness campaigns, we can tackle Egypt's major problem of shanty towns and AIDS. These issues are a widespread problem for all of Egypt. It is important to make sure these problems get handled before they get out of control. By implementing our economic development plan, one is helping the nation of Egypt by providing it with the tools to have a better, more productive future and prosperous economy.